Hello, hello. Today for story time, I don't have any kids. So Teddy's gonna do story time with me. Teddy, do you like to have story time? Yeah, Mom, we like story time. Okay, today's story is, again, one of our favorites in our house. Apparently not Teddy's, because Teddy's already left us. And many of you may know this story too. Again, it's a very well-loved book at our house, so it's kind of worn. But today's book is Dogzilla by Dav Pilkey. And a lot of you guys know Dav Pilkey. He did the Captain Underpants books. So if you've read those books or seen the movie, same author. But what Dave did in this book is his illustrations are actual pictures of his dogs and the mice that he has at his house. So it's just a fun book. Okay, here we go, Dogzilla. Here, it's gonna tell us right here who it's starring. Flash, Rabies, Dwayne, and the dog's name is Leah. It was summertime in Mouseopolis, and the mice had come from all corners of the community. They'd come together to compete in the first annual barbecue cook-off. As the cook-off got underway, smoke from the hot grills lifted the irresistible scent of barbecue sauce over the rooftops of the city. A gentle wind carried the mouth-watering smell into the distance, right over the top of an ancient crater. Before long, a strange and mysterious sound was heard. Sniff, sniff. Sniff, sniff. Sniff, sniff, sniff. All at once, the volcano began to tremble. And suddenly, up from the very depths of the earth came the most terrifying creature ever known to mousekind, the dreadful Dogzilla. Immediately, the soldiers were sent to stop the mighty beast. The heroic troops were led by their brave commanding officer, the Big Cheese. "All right, you old flea bag," squeaked the Big Cheese. "Get those paws in the air. You're coming with us." Without warning, the monstrous mutt breathed her horrible breath onto the mice. "Doggy breath!" screamed the soldiers. "Run for your lives!" "Hey, come back here!" shouted the Big Cheese to his troops. "What are you, men or mice?" "We are mice," they squeaked. Said the Big Cheese. "You're right, wait for me!" The colossal canine followed the soldiers back to Mouseopolis, licking up all the food in her path. Afterward, Dogzilla wandered through the city streets, doing those things that come naturally to dogs. Dogzilla chased cars right off the freeway. Dogzilla chewed furniture and the furniture store as well. And Dogzilla dug up bones at the Museum of Natural History. Meanwhile, the Big Cheese had organized an emergency meeting with one of the city's greatest scientific minds, Professor Scarlett O'Hare. "Gentle mice," said Professor O'Hare, "this monster comes from prehistoric times. It is perhaps millions of years old." "Maybe we could teach it to do something positive for the community," suggested the Big Cheese. "I'm afraid not," said Professor O'Hare. "You simply can't teach an old dog new tricks. If we're going to defeat this dog, we've got to think like a dog. We've got to find something that all dogs are afraid of. Something that will scare this beast away from Mouseopolis forever." "I've got an idea," squeaked the Big Cheese. Within minutes, the mice had assembled at their center of town. "All right, Dogzilla," shouted the Big Cheese. "No more Mr. Mice Guy. It's Whose dog is afraid to take a bath? Does anybody bathe their dogs? Sometimes dogs don't like the water. Suddenly, a blast of warm, sudsy water hit Dogzilla with tremendous force. The panicking Pooch let out a burst of hot, fiery breath, and the chase was on. The big cheese tried to catch up with the hot dog with all the relish he could muster. Dogzilla hightailed it out of town and back into the mouth of the ancient volcano. Well, I'll be doggone, squeaked the big cheese. It worked! With the horrifying memory of the bubble bath etched in her mind forever, Dogzilla never returned again to Mouseopolis. Within a year, Mouseopolis had rebuilt itself just in time for the second annual barbecue cook-off. The Mouse of Mouseopolis fired up their grills, confident that they would never see or hear from Dogzilla again. However, there was one thing they didn't count on. Puppies! Look how cute those little puppies are. Who liked that story? How many of you guys have dogs? We love that story because it's just silly and we love our dogs. So I hope everybody's having a good, safe day. Get out there and run around the park, but make sure you stay safe and keep your distance. Okay, we'll see you later.